Hello, I'm Mike Moore, and I'm talking with Charlie Hall, a member of the Rockingham County Board of Commissioners. Charlie is in his first four-year term and seeking re-election. He's in our studios here. Hey, Charlie.
Hi, good afternoon.
It's good to have you here. Let's talk about those first 4 years in county government and some things that have been accomplished.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Mike. I appreciate you letting me speak. But, during this past 4 years, we've got a lot accomplished at the county level. We have actually lowered the ad valorem tax rate just a little bit, but also we haven't raised taxes in the last 12 years in Rockingham County.
And that's making a big statement there, isn't it?
It is. We think it's very important. But we've also updated our ordinances. We created a uniform development ordinance to make development easier to understand and more clear. We've done a land use plan, which will help people when they're looking to buy property, depending on their use, where we would encourage them to go and to look. So it just provides a better vision for the community. So we've gotten those done, and we've also given, I think, good vision for economic development. In the last 4 years, we've seen over $1 billion investment in Rockingham County from other areas. Now, this investment has also created 1,500 jobs, and these 1,500 jobs have a higher than average pay rate. So that's working to boost the standard of living for our residents.
And when you look at, and some of this stuff kind of happens gradually, but when you look at it kind of the big picture and all of the jobs and the growth, it's there, isn't it, for Rockingham County?
It is. It's a great time to be looking at the future here. We know about a lot of these things that were coming. We've heard about through Purina and Ontex and Sands Fibers, Pella, Gildan Yarns, and Night Owl, Farmina. Ruger has a big expansion. So it's great. It tells you that folks are looking at Rockingham County and they're considering this a good place to be.
Let's talk about new home construction. That's phenomenal when you look at those numbers.
It really is. Right now, there are over 3,000, probably getting close to 4,000 homes scheduled to be built or approved to be built in the next 10 years. And a lot of this is in the southwestern part of the county, but there are some other areas of growth as well. Now, that's going to bring some challenges for us. We've got infrastructure, water and sewer capacity. We've got to look at school capacity, where do schools need to grow or expand or be built. How is that going to impact crime? So there are a lot of things to look at. And that's one of the reasons why I want to run again for this next 4-year term, to see some of this flesh out and to help direct some of that, because I think it'll be important for the future of our community.
Certainly. You mentioned some very important things there, schools and things like that. Let's maybe give somewhat of a definition. What does a county board of county commissioners do? What are your responsibilities? Because people say, well, if I'm elected, I'll build new schools and things like that. So what are your responsibilities?
Well, that's a good point. We do not deal with academics, but we do help fund the construction and operation of the schools. So we work with the school board and help to provide the funding necessary and help to participate in that to be sure that the taxpayers' money is used wisely. And I think that's one of the most important things we do as commissioners, is we try to protect the local taxpayer, the local citizen, to be sure their money is spent wisely, and we try to keep a tight rein on government growth. So, we try to provide services that are necessary at a good value without allowing the government to just grow out of control.
Okay, very good.
Speaking to that, one of the things we've done in the last 4 years is we've approved a new 5-year capital improvement plan and a 5-year long-range plan, and we're going to extend that out further to even 15 or 20 years, because one of the things we're wanting to do is look at the money that's available. When you put a roof on a building or HVAC system in a building, you know that that's going to have to be replaced in 15 or 20 years. So what we've done, we've asked the administration to look at these costs, allocate an amount to that to be spent in future years, and look at the CPI, if you will, or Consumer Price Index, to allow for inflation and interest on that. So what the whole point is to set money aside to replace these items when they're needed, so we don't have to dip into current funds or go to the taxpayer and say, hey, we need a new roof on our building. You need to pay a little more in taxes this year because we didn't plan. So what we're trying to do is saying, guys, we're planning for that in the future, and hopefully that'll allow us to keep that tax rate low.
You know, people don't realize a lot of long-range planning. You said 5 years on that one, but, you know, things are happening right here in Rockingham County that some former members of the Board of Commissioners put in place 20 years ago or so.
I think that's a great segue to talk about water and sewer up and down the 220 corridor. That was put in many years ago, and, you know, some people gave the commissioners a hard time about it. But if we didn't have that, a lot of this development that we're looking at would not be possible. Matter of fact, we're even looking to have to upgrade our capacity for those systems right now. So that's one of the things we're looking to do with some of this COVID money over the next few years, is to improve that capacity to allow for this commercial construction that's going on.
It's always looking to the future, forward thinking and infrastructure and everything else, isn't it?
We have to be. We have to look, 20 to 25 years out on these things to try to plan for that growth, to try to allow for it. And sometimes you get it right, but even if you don't get it 100% right, you're at least having a plan that can be adjusted. Talking about planning ahead. One of the things we've done in the last couple of years is we just completed the construction of a new 11-acre landfill cell. It's adjacent to the existing cells. This cell is going to last about 5 to 7 years, and then you're looking at about $4 or $5 million for that kind of construction, and that's something we've got to do to plan ahead. What are we going to do in 5 to 7 years when that cell fills up? We've got to continue making long-range plans to keep these areas where they need to be, to keep that fund with enough money to go ahead and do the work as necessary.
Sure. I wanted to talk about a couple of things I know you're proud of. The Youth Development Center, and you're doing some work with developing an indoor firing range here in the county for the public. Let's talk about those. Okay.
Well, the Youth Development Center is in Reidsville. It's on the east side of 29. This is going to be a 60-bed unit with about 45,000 square feet for youth ages 10 to 18. This $20 million facility was approved by the state in 2017. The project is going to create about 126 jobs, and it takes up about 42 acres. It's scheduled to be completed this coming winter, maybe fall. So that'll be a good opportunity for some jobs there. And so we're tickled to have that as a site selected.
Yeah.
And then what was the other issue we were talking about? The gun range.
The gun range, yeah.
Well, what we've done is we've been talking to the State Wildlife Commission, and they have some money that they can allocate to the county for the development of an indoor handgun range. So we're looking to build this over at the landfill, and it will be available to the public, hopefully operated by an independent third party, and about a 10 lane facility. But the point is, guns are here, no matter your position on handguns and weapons. The fact is they're here with us. So our goal is to provide a safe place for people to train and practice in a controlled environment. And then this facility will provide those trainings and the opportunity to shoot in a safe environment for the public.
Okay, very good. And when do we expect that to be completed?
Well, hopefully we'll be able to move closer to that this fall. And then maybe look at construction over the next year or two. So we'd really like to see that move faster, but I'm trying to not overpromise.
Yeah, okay, very good. It takes time on things.
It does, and some of that money will be coming from the state, and we've got some other funds that are available to fund that, so it all won't be coming out of our current dollars.
Right. Speaking of taking time, a lot of people don't realize, looking at Rockingham County economic development, and you mentioned a couple of big projects with Nestle Purina and Farmina and Night Owl and some others, OnTex. Sometimes those things are just being developed under the radar, and it takes a long time, years sometimes, before we know about it as public.
They are, and a lot of times they won't tell us the name of a project just because secrecy is so important.
Oh yeah.
So when a project comes in, it may be labeled Project X or Project Y, and that helps prevent anybody from discussing it improperly. But let me tell you, in economic development, we have got a superstar, Lee Cochran.
Oh, yeah.
She was recognized by the state economic development folks as a leader, and she's the top developer in the state. So we are very proud to have Lee on board with us.
We certainly are. Yeah, doing some exciting things in economic development. Let's talk about recycling. The county rolled that out. When did that? How many years ago was that? That was a big campaign, and Eden tried it. It didn't work. Now they're trying it again. Where are we with countywide recycling?
Well, that's kind of a mixed bag because things kind of went sour when some of the Chinese wouldn't take some of the exports or imports, and but right now we do about 16,000 houses within the county recycle. During 12 months, about 2,876 tons were collected for an average of 240 tons per month of recyclables. Mm-hmm. According to Waste Management, Rockingham County has the highest collection rate of all counties where they collect recyclables. So
wow.
I think that's commendable for the county.
Yeah, that is, certainly. Okay. The people that are passionate about that really are, and some just aren't. So that's the way it is. Yeah. But that's a good program for sure. Yep. We've got a couple of minutes left. What are some things that you need to say? I know you want to be in for another 4 years at least, Charlie.
I do, and again, I appreciate the opportunity to have served the public these first 4 years. But there are several things, as we have kind of alluded to, that aren't done yet that I'd like to see further. Again, the gun range is one, but also we're looking at having to do some revaluation due to the increase in real estate sales. So we've got to oversee that over the next couple of years. That's going to be a major item. But we want to continue to work on the capital improvement plan, expand our long-range plan so that it'll protect the taxpayer in the future and help keep these tax rates low. But further, a lot of things, we don't know what the next big thing is going to be. Mm. So what we need is somebody who can make good business decisions and look at the pluses and minuses and weigh what's the best value for the taxpayer. And I think I can do that, and really would like to ask for your vote over the next few election cycle. We're voting from the 28th is early voting, mm-hmm. and then election day for the primary is on May 17th.
Right.
And then, of course, in the fall, we don't have any Democrat challengers, so the commissioners' races are very important to deal with during the primary. Mm-hmm. So again, during the 4 election sites, this from the 28th, and then on the 17th. It's very important.
It really is. Yeah, early voting, April 28th, as you said, through May 14th. You can vote at the Eden Public Library, Zion Baptist Church in Reedsville, Madison Mid-End Public Library, Board of Elections, Cherokee Camp Road, Wentworth. Their Facebook page, Rockingham County Board of Elections, has important information there, updated all the time. And then the primary, yes, May 17th. Charlie, thank you for your commitment to Rockingham County.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you for listening to this program. Vote for Charlie Hall for re-election for County Commissioner. This program paid for by Charlie Hall for Commissioner.